Hello everyone, Sylvia here from Grace for a Gypsy. Welcome to my genealogy research series. Have you ever wondered about your family history? Where did you come from? What is your story? Follow along in this series and I'll show you how to take the necessary steps needed to trace your family tree. In this video, I'll cover the family documents and papers. I'll tell you what documents may be in your family's possession and where to look for them. Let's get started. The first step is to let your family know you are interested in tracing your family tree. Ask family members if they have any documents or papers. Often, older relatives will not think that the papers they have kept over the years will be valuable to family history, so your questions need to be specific. Let's look at some of the items to ask for and what we may learn from them. One of the first items I ask about are family Bibles. Ask your relatives if they know of any family Bibles that may exist and who has them. Family Bibles were given as wedding gifts and were popular items to own because of the records sections. Sometimes these sections are referred to as the register. These sections are fill-in-the-blank templates that are ready and waiting for your family events to be recorded. The records sections usually were found in the front of the Bible or in the pages between the Old and New Testaments. Many Bibles had pages that were for recording several generations of a family tree as well. Because birth records are often kept in family Bibles, dates and places of births are found. This is an actual copy of the birth record found in one of my family's Bibles. When marriages are recorded, the information that you find could not only give you dates and places of weddings, but possibly contain previously unknown maiden names. I found my great-grandmother's maiden name on the marriage page in my grandmother's family Bible. Another type of record that could be found in a family Bible is baptismal or christening records. These records may list the parents of children and possibly lead you to churches that your family attended. Knowing where your family worshiped could lead you to more records that have information about your family. Other items found in family Bibles can be equally important. Many times, family Bibles will have obituary clippings or cards, funeral programs, or other papers stuck in between the pages. These pages may contain important information about your family. In my great-grandmother's Bible, I found a list of family members with their dates of birth written by my great-great-grandmother. Finding family Bibles can be a great source of information. The next thing I ask about is family papers. Ask your relatives if Grandma had a box of papers, and if so, who has it now? These old boxes can contain items like newspapers, marriage license, old letters or cards. These items could have personal information about our relatives. In my grandmother's box of papers, I found several items that I wouldn't have dreamed existed. In her box was a World War II rations booklet. It didn't have much information about my family written in it, but it was a priceless find for me. I can't imagine needing a ration coupon to purchase things like sugar or flour, and it added a new perspective to the lives my ancestors lived. Another item I found in her box was a pink envelope. It contained 10 pages of personal information about my great-grandmother's family. It discussed everything from the food they ate on a normal day to the plants they harvested to make dye for the fabric they made their clothes of. And it was all handwritten by my great-grandmother. It gave me a great start to filling out my pedigree chart for her family. Next on the list to ask for is a box of pictures. Most families have a box of old photos. These boxes contain not only the pictures but other items like marriage license, newspaper clippings, and other documents. The photos themselves are valuable. They're really valuable because they may trigger memories in our older relatives. Let your relatives know that you're interested in looking at the old pictures and hearing the stories about them. I remember asking my grandmother about her grandmother's family. She said she couldn't really remember much about them until we got out her old box of pictures and she began to recall even the names of her great aunts and uncles. She told me stories about her grandparents that I had never heard before. Oftentimes, old photos have names written on the backs of them, giving us names to go with the faces of ancestors we never knew. In this picture, if the names hadn't been written on the back of the pictures, I would have never known I had a picture of my great-great-grandfather. In my grandmother's photo box, I also found a picture of her grandparents' old homestead, which led to more stories I'd never heard before. The picture of the old house sparked a memory about a family member's baby that was stolen right off the porch by a man from a nearby village. My grandmother had never thought to tell me that story until seeing the photo and recalling the events. Where do we look for family documents and papers? Well, the simplest step is to ask our families for information about the papers. Do we have any papers? If we do, where are they? Who has them? If you're clearing out the homes of a relative that's passed on, be sure to check the locations for important documents such as attics, basements, dressers, closets, even under mattresses. Look in trunks and shoeboxes too. And don't discard any old papers before you can review them carefully. Scan all newspapers and clippings for more important information. Take inventory of the papers and documents that you find. Ask for copies of everything. Today, most people have smartphones. That makes it easy to take pictures of papers and documents. Exchanging images with relatives is much easier than it used to be with the use of our smartphone cameras. Make a list of information that you found from the papers. You'll want to cite your sources of information. Locating documents and photos in the possession of your family is one of the most important steps in filling out your family tree. The documents themselves contain valuable information. They also spark the memories of our relatives, and that opens the doors to our ancestors' lives, giving us a personal glimpse of who they were. I hope you'll use these tips when talking to your relatives, and I wish you the best of luck in finding those hidden treasures that will lead you to even more information about your ancestors. Stay tuned to the Genealogy Research Series for tips on how to trace your family tree. Remember, I'll teach you what records you will need to learn about your ancestors and where to find them. So if you're interested in tracing your family tree and don't know where to begin, or if you've been dabbling with genealogy a little bit and are ready to get serious about it, then stick around for lots of information to guide you on your journey. You can also follow this series over on my blog at graceforagypsy.com, where you can find more posts and videos in the series that are guaranteed to guide you in your search for ancestors. If you like this video and are excited about the series, then give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to receive notifications about upcoming videos, then click on the little bell and you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. Until next time, happy hunting!